Chris and Brian here again with you with the product that we don't normally install to clients, but it is an option if a client wanted to go down this road. It's an open source product and it's used to filter ads out of websites you look at and DNS queries and things like that. Adds a little extra security and makes your web experience a little bit cleaner. The product's called Pi-hole, and Chris has actually got it installed on his home network. And we occasionally like to play around with these open source products, and we do use a handful in our business internally and also for clients. And so we thought this would be neat for him to talk about Pi-hole and how he uses it on his network. Take it away, Chris.
All right. So yeah, no, this is an entirely, it's virtualized on one of my servers. This isn't a, you can install it on a physical appliance. I'm not doing that in this case. You can see the, total number of DNS queries here, which are blocked. You can, specify certain DNS servers. On top of that, in terms of blocking, if we come down here, we go into my settings. Right here.
So let me just explain here, Chris, while you're looking for that. When we throwing acronyms out, DNS, so that stands for domain name services. Basically, everything you do on the web, it goes through some DNS server, what they call a DNS server, and basically it takes the IP address, translate it to the web address that you normally see in the browser. And basically you can filter on those web addresses, right? So if the Pi-hole sees something that, is in the blacklist or littered with advertisements or, anything like that, it can look that information up, it sees it, and then it can put a stop to those ads, showing on your browser, for example. Okay, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's just pulling from GitHub here, the Stephen Black, this host file here with all these lists, a list of domains and, known domain, domains used for ads. And you can see all of them here. Also, another thing you can do, this is, this isn't something we generally do, but you can create your own local DNS records. So for example, my firewall's on the IP address 10301. I can access it from this, local DNS record I created. So if we come over here, so there it is. So, it makes it a little easier if you don't want to have to punch in the IP address. And then in terms of ads, so I'll use this citation machine because it's loaded with ads.
So now, Chris, I don't see any ads there, right? So that's the filtered tab, right? So that's using the Pi-hole to filter out these ads,
yes,
right?
Everything on my network's using that Pi-hole for DNS. So you're not seeing any ads really on here other than this, them offering you a plus account. But then when we come in here on a device off my network, you can see it's playing videos, it's got all these, and that slows down the speed of the page as well. So the performance might suffer if it's loaded with ads.
Now, I went to this same website on my computer and you already have it preloaded. So all the ads were preloaded when you tabbed over to it. But it took literally like a minute for the ads just to load up before I saw everything. And yeah, so that's a drastic improvement on that other tab where you're using the Pi-hole.
Now, one thing to keep in mind, though, at least I know with this website because I've used it for school and stuff, essentially, it doesn't like when you're blocking ads. So it acts as, it'll complain to me that like, oh, please disable your ad blocker. It thinks I'm using, like a Chrome or Edge extension to block ads, like uBlock Origin. So like if you ever have those enabled on some of these sites, it does recognize you're trying to use an ad blocker and it, may prevent you from accessing certain content. Or in this case, it won't let me create a citation if it detects my, my Pi-hole or this ad block.
Okay. So let's wrap it up just to keep this short. Again, great pie hole, great for blocking advertisements, great to help with added security, so in case you stumble upon a site that might be infected. And then you know, number one, it's what they call open source, so it's free, right? Free, the code is free, the program itself is free. What isn't free is you have to install this on some type of server or workstation. Better if you can install it on a server. And so it's just the labor involved and the labor to maintain it. But if you have IT people, this is an option, a cheap option that you could use on your network. All right, Chris, thanks for showing us the pie hole, and I'll talk to you later.
All right.